Hello, my name is Lydia Radin, and what you're about to listen to is about 11 minutes and 51 seconds of an audio tape telephone conversation that I had with a paralegal named Michael at the US Attorney's Office in Newark, New Jersey. Now, why is this important? Because I had this conversation on February 11th, 2014. About 2 years ago, in March of 2012, I went to visit the U.S. Attorney's Office with a woman named Patricia Waiters. Patricia Waiters, unfortunately, had been terminated from her job as a corrections officer in Hudson County, and it's unfortunate that she had a case, but she blew it. And we can get into those details later, but what's important is we went to the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is the office that's headed by Paul J. Fishman. Paul J. Fishman was appointed to be the U.S. Attorney, the federal prosecutor in New Jersey by President Obama a few years before. So about March 2012, we go to visit the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we're there, and we're trying to push our cases forward. We talked to a paralegal named Constance Jones, and you'll see I took a videotape, and I have her card annexed to the end of this audio tape that you're going to listen to. You'll see the videotape of Constance Jones and Patricia Waiters, the African-American woman that I went with, her hair's in braids, to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, this is about March 2012. A few months later, we went to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington. And the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, and I had meetings with the Republicans, and Patricia Waiters was treated with contempt as she tried to move her case forward. We came back up to Jersey City, New Jersey, and we were told that we had to work with our local office. Well, we tried to work with our local office. That was the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark, and they claimed we were never there. Now, the videotape that I took shows that we were there. So the U.S. Attorney's Office is lying, and today they presume to investigate Republican Governor Christie for the Bridgegate scandal. So our argument is, well, if you're going to go hunting for the Republicans, we got plenty of Democrats, we got plenty of wrongdoers in the Democratic Party, so is the U.S. Attorney's Office going to investigate them? And how can they possibly investigate anyone when I caught them lying? Now when I go to the U.S. Attorney's Office, I'm subject to retaliatory gestures, like they tried to stick the security guards on me, which is like ridiculous. So the bottom line is you need an independent federal prosecutor to investigate Governor Christie, and we want to go to the independent federal prosecutor because we caught the U.S. Attorney's Office lying. This is Paul Fishman's office, and as you can see, we were at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark. We did talk to Constance Jones. She's a paralegal. I do have the videotape that proves we were there. Now, not incidentally, this technique of lying and claiming that we were never there, which is like deny, 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 was also used against me when I went down to Adult Protective Services here in Brooklyn, New York, with Etelvina Povinetti. And she was applying for a one-time cash emergency grant to help pay for her back rent so she would not be evicted. We go down, I take her down to Adult Protective Services. A member of my tenants association came with us, and I took a videotape that shows Etelvina Povinetti was there. She was filling out paperwork with a supervisor at Adult Protective Services named Venetia Felder. So now I get a phone call from an attorney who works for the city of New York saying, oh, Etelvina Povinetti was never there. Blame the tenant, blame the tenant, blame the tenant. She didn't do what she was supposed to do. Yes, she did. The Adult Protective Services claims that she was never there. You just showed up with some man. Well, the man was William Doherty. He's a member of my tenants association. And Etelvina Povinetti was there because I have a videotape that shows she was there. So in Brooklyn, we've got Adult Protective Services, an agency that's supposed to be charged with not forcing little old ladies out of their rent-stabilized apartment. And what we demonstrated was that, in fact, Adult Protective Services, the very city agency that's charged with helping the residents of New York and Brooklyn in particular, conspire with the landlord to try to illegally evict a tenant. So I'm sure Adult Protective Services does not like me. And I got an attorney from the city of New York leaving me a voicemail saying that I was never there. I was there. So you go to these offices, you try to file your complaints, and they claim you were never there, or they throw out your complaints. So in this video, I'm following up with, in this audio tape, I'm following up with a paralegal named Michael at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I go into some detail about my case. But what's very important is, about 2 years before, in March of 2012, Patricia Waiters and I went down to the U.S. Attorney's Office. We spoke to a paralegal, Constance Jones. You'll see her card at the end of the audio tape, and you'll see you'll see the videotape, not all of it, but enough so that you can see that's Constance Jones, that's Patricia Waiters. I'm the one taking the video. And some months later, when we went to Washington, D.C. to try to talk to the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., the Newark office lied to the Washington, D.C. office and said we were never there, when in fact we were there, and I have the video that proves it. Now, it's unfortunate that Patricia Waiters sold out to Mayor Steve Fulop and lost her case, and told a pack of lies about me, unfortunately, and she was caught in those lies. She could have won her case. It's unfortunate that she lied. It's also really foolish for Patricia Waiters to lie about me, Lydia Radin, when I've got the videotape that shows she went down to the U.S. Attorney's Office and they lied and said she wasn't there. I mean, I think that's incredibly foolish of her, but that's what she did. And what's very important now in making the national headlines is that Paul J. Fishman is the U.S. Attorney in the office that lied, and he presumes to investigate Mr. Christie, or Governor Christie, in the Bridgegate scandal. Well, this U.S. Attorney should be investigating his own office. They should not be engaged in retaliatory gestures against me, Lydia Radin. When I go down there, I should not have to suffer the security guards in the building being sicked on me, unwarranted. And how is it possible that the U.S. Attorney's Office that lied is now going to go after Governor Christie? They should investigate themselves. I don't see how you can do that, but we need an independent federal prosecutor. And what I want to know is the U.S. Attorney's Office's Paul J. Fishman going to investigate all the Democrats, all the members of the Democratic Party who engaged in crimes against me, Lydia Radin, and didn't stop with me, but also perpetrated wrongs against a member of my tenants association, Pauline Roman, which I'll elaborate out on more fully in other videos. So what you're going to hear is the audio tape of me talking to the paralegal, and then at the end of that audio tape, you're going to see the the business card and the videotape that shows Patricia Waiters and I did indeed visit the U.S. Attorney's Office. So the U.S. Attorney's Office, I caught lying. And we need an independent federal prosecutor. If you're going to hunt Republicans like Mr. Christie, well, then you can also hunt Democrats and all the Democrats who hurt me in New Jersey, including Ed DeFazio and all the other Democrats that I can name. We are going to the Committee for Investigation in the legislature with John Wisniewski, and we are going to the to Loretta Weinberg, I believe it is, and we're going to ask them. They have subpoena power and investigative power. Why don't they investigate the members of their own party, the Democratic Party, that hurt me and Pauline Roman? So it will be interesting to see whether the leaders in the New Jersey State Legislature on the Committee for Investigation, John Wisniewski and Loretta Weinberg, can also investigate the members of their own party, the Democratic Party, or are they going to show discrimination and only go after Republican Mr. Christie, because that is really uncalled for. So let's see. Here we go.
You have reached the Newark office of the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. Our normal business hours are 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Please be advised any message left on this voicemail will be subject to retention and archiving by the Department of Justice. If you know your party's 5-digit extension, please press 1. If you would like to dial by name, please press 2. If you would like to reach the Citizen Complaint Hotline, please press 3. If you would like to reach the Civil Rights Complaint Hotline, please press 4. If you would like to reach the receptionist, please press 0. U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yes, is this the Citizens Complaint Hotline?
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, are you an attorney?
No, I'm a paralegal.
Oh, okay, good. Are you allowed to tell me at least your first name?
Well, let's just talk about your problem. What's going on? Can I help you with?
Well, I hate to call you Hey You, so can you at least tell me who you are?
My name is Michael.
Michael, thank you so much for taking my call today, Michael. The reason why I'm calling, and I hope you keep an open mind and don't get your back up, I understand that the U.S. Attorney's Office is investigating Mr. Christie's administration for the Bridgegate controversy. Is that correct?
Okay.
I thought there was an independent...
Hold on a second. I have to give you some specific language. Hold on.
Okay.
Our office is reviewing the matter to determine whether a federal law was implicated.
Okay, I understand that you have to say that, and I appreciate that. My question was, I thought there was an independent federal prosecutor appointed. Is that true or not true?
That's not something I have any knowledge of. I'm not involved with it myself. I know our office is involved in some aspect of this matter, basically what I just stated to you a minute ago.
Okay.
But me personally, I have no knowledge of exactly what's going on or who's involved or...
Okay, so the reason why I'm calling is because, and once again, I hope you don't get your back up and you just sort of, hear this with an open mind, and then we can take the next appropriate steps. My question is, and I don't know, I'm just going to speak freely, okay, so I'm not going to be politically correct. It's hard for me to understand how the U.S. Attorney's Office, run by with great respect, sir, run by Paul Fishman, can investigate Governor Christie. When I came down to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark, I came down with a woman named Patricia Waiters. We had a complaint. Now, it's unfortunate that after we came down, Patricia Waiters ruined her case. She was a corrections officer who she claimed was fired unfairly, and she probably could have won her job back in damages. Unfortunately, she ruined her case, but that doesn't change the issue that she and I came down to Newark, and we came to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we spoke to a paralegal, Ms. Jones, and when we went to Washington to follow up, because the U.S. Attorney's Office was doing nothing for us for months, the Washington said we had to work with our local office. Well, we were like, well, we went to our local office, and our local office claimed we weren't there. Now, try to keep an open mind here. I'm saying this with great respect, sir. The Washington office of the U.S. Attorney's Office told the D.C. office that we weren't there, but I have the videotape that shows we were there. So now when I go to the U.S. Attorney's Office, I have to suffer retaliatory gestures. So how is it possible that the U.S. Attorney's Office that lied, and this is irrefutable, is now going to investigate Governor Christie? Shouldn't you guys be investigating yourself? And I know that sounded a little flippant, and I apologize for that.
I'm not the person who assigns cases or picks up investigations. That's
okay. So who would I talk?
Who
would I talk to about the retaliatory gestures that I have to suffer because I caught the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark lying? I mean, which supervisor would I go to? I shouldn't have to come into your building and then, suffer retaliatory gestures and try to be bullied. It's not Governor Christie's office that's bullying me. They're trying to help. They're not bullies. You guys are bullying me. So, who do you want to take some time and talk to a supervisor and call me back? Because I shouldn't be bullied when I go down to Newark. And what I found very interesting.
Let me just take down your name because
okay.
I'm just going to get some information from you, just basic information.
Sure.
Your number. Just hold on to it because I'm a very slow typer.
Okay.
Your first name?
My first name is Lidya, Lidya.
Mm-hmm.
My last name is Radin, and it's Radin.
Okay.
My cell phone number is 516-445-4390. And I understand that Mr. Fishman was aggressively pursued healthcare fraud. Well, I have huge fraud at Jersey City Medical Center that my city councilman, Steve Fulop, has known about. Now he's mayor, and when I go into Jersey City, he makes up stories to the police, or he tries to portray me in a false light to have me arrested because I don't keep my mouth shut about the fact that the mayor of Jersey City is aware of very serious criminal conduct in my case, including federal student loan fraud at Yeshiva University, all kinds of fraud. And, when I go down to the U.S. Attorney's office, I get treated with contempt. Hello?
I mean, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not familiar with you. I don't believe.
There's an attorney there named Scott McBride. I think he's been there for like 5 years. Scott McBride was hired by Mr. Christie, and I talked to Scott McBride probably in 2008, and I put some flyers and some other documentary evidence in his hands. I'm willing to work with Mr. Scott McBride. I will say and do whatever he needs me to say and do to organize the evidence that he needs so that the criminals in my case can be prosecuted. Now, it's not just about me. This is CrookedDoctors at Jersey City Medical Center. They falsified medical records.
Yeah, so you're having so I understand you had an issue with our office, but you're calling about a crime being committed, I'm hearing, about something that happened at Jersey City Medical Center?
The crime of false imprisonment, yes, sir, and fraud, and bona fide fraud, and Medicaid fraud. My city council knows all about this. This isn't this. Go ahead.
Just one thing. This is going to sound a little hard to explain, but our office is not normally an investigative agency. I know my office.
Oh, I know. We went to the FBI. We went to the FBI.
And normally.
And you know what? When we were sitting there filling out the complaint forms, one of the FBI agents that we had talked to wandered into the office, and we said, "Hi, remember us? We talked to you at the FBI." So yes, we did everything we were supposed to do. At every level. We went to the police. I have police reports where my mother went to the police when this happened. They didn't help us. They lied, I'm sorry to report. We went to the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office. Debbie Simon lied. She's a prosecutor at the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office. Tracy McQuaid lied. Ed DeFazio has been conspiring in crimes against me since 2005. I've been trying to get some relief for federal student loan fraud and federal Pell Grant fraud since 2005. Ed DeFazio, metaphorically speaking, not literally, spit in my face. He tried to act like a bully. When I went to his office to talk to him, he tried to intimidate me.
All this stuff. Let me give it to some people above me to look at.
Okay.
To do the number of inquiries we receive every day. A member of our staff may not be able to follow up with you regarding the complaint, but I'll run it.
Could you put in my complaint that I will say and do whatever you need me to say and do to get the evidence for these people to be prosecuted? And I'm sorry that it goes all the way to U.S. Senator Robert Menendez, but he was my congressman, and that office made phone calls to Ed DeFazio. So I'm sorry that there are a whole lot of important Democrats who have participated in crimes against me and in the taxpayers, but those are the facts. So I appreciate that you're trying to make a good faith effort here. I really do. Tell whoever to refer my case to Mr. Scott McBride, and I have more evidence that I know what to do with, and I would be happy to cooperate in any way possible. And I will make an issue that Mr. Fishman, and I'll make an issue in Washington, and I'll make an issue internationally if I have to. You cannot go after my governor unless you go after, you can't go on a witch hunt to the Republicans unless you deal with the real crimes that the Democrats are responsible for. And there are other people reaching out to me who also have the same elected officials doing the same corrupt stuff. So we got a whole lot of people, you know, we're still going to go to the state legislature with the jury at the state legislature. I believe that they have government oversight committees that have subpoena power. They're going to have to deal with this too. So please take my complaint and let me know what I can say and do to make sure that the criminals in my case get prosecuted promptly. And then
Thank you for calling.
Okay, so how do I follow up with you, sir?
Like I said, I'm going to forward it to people in my office, and like I said before, you know,
should I call you and follow you?
Receive every day. A member of our staff may or may not follow up with you regarding your complaint, depending on if it's something we can assist you with.
Oh, I think federal crimes, and you know, I was physically assaulted at Jersey City Medical Center.
Again, ma'am, I'm going to pass.
Wait. No, let me. This should be put in. The crime of violence against me was solicited. So, municipal court judge from North Bergen, Nino Falcone, solicited the crime of violence against me. That would be 18 U.S.C. 373, I believe. I could get that section wrong, but I'll correct it. But that is a federal crime, soliciting the crime against violence against me. I was physically assaulted and almost murdered at Jersey City Medical Center. That is very serious, and that is not going away. Hello?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so I'm going to continue to follow up, but it doesn't go away when I have videotape that shows me and Patricia Waiters talking to a paralegal, Constance Jones, and then the Newark office lies to D.C. and says we weren't there, and I got the videotape that shows we were there. So, you know, I'm not going to suffer any more retaliatory gestures. I would think that if Mr. Fishman is the honorable man that he claims to be, then your office should be taking this very seriously and not retaliating against me.
Okay.
And we're going to give you every opportunity to do the right thing, no pun intended.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am.
Bye.
Goodbye.
They won't even talk to her. Okay, go ahead.
You know why he did that? I went to the field and we took the field and this be recorded and this be on the record. I go to every field and we this is yesterday's date. This was recorded, right? So on Thursday, you can see what I want to put this portion. I said, with the Lord, ask for faith, work with me. I showed them that they recorded evidence. I did not lose my job, right? Thinking they will work with me, but I came to you on the 25th. I went to the late on the 25th. He says this, he did that. They don't want to be bothered. And this is because he been writing this. Because this is the new one I just submitted. And here go the letter to the judge. It's the main thing I want to do that. I don't know if he had it when I came that day, so I was a little emotional. I gave this to the judge saying everything, thanks for letting me utilize this letter. And I asked him what to buy. Okay, and this is what I'm waiting for. I found out that the judge didn't contact the guest. So that's why they wrote this letter. Yeah, he won't even it. Wow.
You know what's really sad? My name's Lydia Radin.
I'm sorry.
Do you have a card, Ms. Jones?
Actually, I didn't bring any with me, but I do have a card.
Can you just? Okay. You know what's sad about this is I made a couple phone calls. People are willing to come forward. Like, she's telling the truth. I'm like, would you be willing to? I'm like, would you be willing to talk to an investigator? They said yes. I was like, would you be willing to testify? They said yes. All we want to do is make sure they're not retaliated against. There are people who come forward saying this is a false statement and material fact. They're willing to come. I mean, it's a phone call.
I don't want to go back.
I mean, you're talking about.
They say go there.
Listen, wait. If I talk to people willing to come forward, do you want them to call you, or would you call them?
Well, what I want to do is we have a civil rights attorney here. I need to speak with her first.
Okay.
About what steps she wants to do, because it made, to me, I'm thinking it may fall within the civil rights violation.
Oh, of course it does. She's being denied equal protection.
I don't want to go to. I was really going to.
No, we want to go to Washington.
No, not yet. I told you.
No.
They said work with this. I told you when I came here, I had to do what they're telling me to.
So let me ask you something. So I understand. Just one. Let me ask you something. If we're playing in their ballpark, in their field, why would we feel that we would get justice? I mean, these are the Hudson County executives.
No, I know. That's
You know, we're scared.
That's why you still gotta have a protocol. No, listen, wait, lady.
No, I think we should go to No. I think give us a referral to someone in.
I'm not jumping.
No.
Listen to me. I'm right there.
No, the referral
Because we want.
is going to come from this office first. We have a civil rights attorney.
Okay.
And once she finds that this warrants an investigation,
Mm-hmm.
then she has to take action, but it has to go through us first.
Yeah, we're not trying to go around you, but what our concern is. Wait.
I want to show that this case is tainted.
Oh, it's a lot more.
The evidence to them forward is what I'm saying.
It's more than tainted. There's no basis for your dismissal. It's crap. They just made it up.
You still got a protocol. You got to change.
Honey, I know that. We're going.
That's why I
know
that. I met you. I have confidence in you. The only thing that made me bring this back, because this is the original document, and this is more powerful, because I even went after the 25th date. I even went to try to reconcile. You see? I even went to try to talk to them and say, listen, this could go away, blah, blah, blah.
No, their problem is that they
still won't even
the problem is that they admit that they fired her illegally, and how do they justify the last 6 years of hell that they put her through, including 3 stress-induced strokes? We're talking about, and the only thing they got is a whole lot.
You should see my little son. I told you, I'm so happy because my son is in law school. I'm getting up from them in Shippensburg. That's the attorney's thing. Patricia, document everything. Show that you're following the chain of command. I can't jump the gun. We went to governor's office December 19th, and I'm sure how they do. Why did you miss all of those people and wind up in trip? You gotta follow the chain of command.
No.
And that's what I'm doing here. I don't want to jump the gun. I want you to do your part. I got confidence in you, and I'm gonna just sit back and wait. I waited this long.
Okay. But no. Wait. What we're concerned about is we're playing in their ball. So I mean, we're
not necessarily in their ballpark because we're a separate entity from Hudson County. Although we deal with them, we're a separate entity. So if it does warrant an investigation, you don't have to worry about it not going through.
Okay, wait. Let me just wait. Just one second.
When I sued in Hudson County, that was different. I went to court and Judge Pepperkin heard it. She wasn't supposed to hear it in Hudson County. That's what she mean by divorce. That don't have nothing to do with.
I understand that. And what also concerns me is that there were people coming forward, and this was a simple phone call. I made a couple phone calls, and I'm like, can you just confirm for me? And I'm like, can you pick out an example of a false statement of material fact that shows that, these little petty instances of harassment really are fabricated? And she has witnesses coming forward. The only thing they ask is, could you protect us so we are not retaliated for telling the truth?
70 years old. She at the jail now. They rolled her up 2 weeks ago, 190 days suspension. Like coming at my mother for coming at me.
So, with great respect, I mean, I took another investigation to Debbie Simon.